Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is Thursday. Next to my buddy John, I'm Rich, and this is Two Guys Text Live Tech News weekly thing we do. Episode, what is this, 133?
Let me look, yes.
Yes, it is. Hi, Utopia. Thanks for joining us. Jamie, hey.
Chat. We have chat.
Wait, oh, yes, sorry. Boom, chat. So, just a little program change. So, we are only streaming on Facebook today. YouTube, sorry. As a bit of a, maybe an experiment, but maybe not.
We had a little mishap last week.
Yeah, we had a mishap last week. We had a few people who actually donated to the show, and we didn't see it because of the system we're using. We felt terrible about it. So
thank you again.
Yes, seriously, Highlander is if he's watching, thank you so much. And Wi-Fi, I mean, that means a lot to us. It really does. And so we felt bad that we didn't get that information, right?
Yeah,
so
it showed up blank, and we're like, okay.
Yeah. So anyway, so here we are. We're doing this a different way, and so the chat's gonna look a little different. But we are live on YouTube right now.
Yes.
John, how you doing, my friend?
Good. How are you?
I'm not doing too bad. It's good to be here. Good to be with you.
Thank you.
Should we get to the topics?
Let's do this.
Let's do it. And you, sir, are up first.
All right. Samsung had a bit of an awkward tweet a couple days ago. They basically sent a tweet out saying maybe you should virus scan your TV, just as a precaution.
Yes.
And very shortly after, everyone started making fun of it. Like, wait, what?
Hey, Michelle.
And Samsung took down the tweet. So essentially, the tweet said, "Scanning your computer for malware viruses."
Computer or TV?
Let me finish the tweet.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
They're comparing it to a computer.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Samsung said, "Scanning your computer for malware viruses is important to keep it running smoothly. This is also true for your QLED TV as it's connected to Wi-Fi!" Explanation mark. Mm-hmm. Prevent malicious software attacks on your new TV by scanning for viruses on your TV every few weeks. Here's how. And it links to a video showing a very intricate remote pressing to get
they put the remote in one side of the frame. And
maybe. So then, you need to scan for viruses on your Samsung TV weekly, according to Samsung. However,
yes.
Shortly after, they had a new tweet. I'm just going to skip most of it because it's pretty lengthy. Mm-hmm. We want to clarify that this was simply a way to educate consumers that one of the features included in our products was only posted because we believe that consumers would find it informative. Yeah, that's not how the tweet came across.
No, that's weird. Not to mention, we have entered the era of technology where your television can be infected with spyware.
Yes.
But, I mean, we talked about it earlier in the pre-show. This became relevant information way back when Edward Snowden released all his information about the NSA, and there was oh, hey, guess what? With the USB stick, they can infect some TVs and turn it into a listening device, right?
They actually approached Microsoft for the Kinect originally.
Oh, really?
wanting to use it as a device, and Microsoft said no. But
I'm surprised.
it's amazing that it became public information.
Yeah. Utopia says, it is an IoT device, you're right. And, you know, the thing is, we just...
Companies
I
only
don't-
highlight things after something's happened.
Right.
Is
No,
how
that's
I
fair.
read that,
Yeah, that's
but-
right. That's a fair point. I think that John's right that, well, I mean, maybe they found something. So Samsung TVs, which I have to full disclosure, has to compete with Android because they didn't want Google to have a whole lot of control over the ecosystem. But, you know, they don't make Tizen phones. They make Android phones and they put the Tizen OS on the TV. But I think it's a Linux OS and it's prone to this kind of junk. So it's a bit of a, you know, you can have somebody watch what you watch.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, just use your Chromecast. Don't
Yeah,
even use the TV.
But the TV, so I remember when I got the television and I set it up, like, oh, it's so beautiful because Samsung TVs are really pretty. You know, that I was going through the menu options and there's this like scan for malware or viruses. I'm like, what
Yeah.
the heck is going on here?
Yeah.
And I did it. And it's like, oh, success. No, nothing. But who's making the antivirus scanning software?
McAfee.
Okay, there you go. So at least somebody.
Samsung's not making it themselves, even though it's their own OS, which is kind of weird.
I'm actually kind of pleased about that, to be honest with you, because I think that it says something that they want to use an outside company that actually knows what they're doing. Like imagine Samsung, oh yeah, we totally scanned that TV. It's good. I mean, we don't look at that stuff, but I mean, it's good. We wrote an application that says it's good, so it's good, right? So that's it's good.
I guess my question is, why isn't this an automatic feature?
Right.
Like, if it's a smart TV, it's like, oh, this TV isn't normally used between this hour and this hour.
That's a good point.
And, I mean, you can never even tell a consumer. I know it sounds horrible, but, like, it could be updating when you're asleep, and if you come up, you go downstairs, you're like, oh, I can't sleep. I'm going to watch a movie, and it's scanning for viruses. It could just say, downloading an update. I know this sounds horrible, but, like,
I think
for companies, they're completely paranoid about PR and presentation and all that stuff. Instead of having a tweet like, hey, you should,
Hey, guys.
this week, today maybe, check
Yes.
for viruses.
You might want to
like,
update right now. Yeah.
Yeah, a little weird.
So yeah, McAfee is a whole business partner. Yeah, companies. Yeah.
Actually,
Utopia's-
they are McAfee's only customer for TV protection.
Really? Well, as long as they're, I don't know. I'm just happy that somebody other than the company that makes it, because you can't trust the companies that make the product. You just can't. Not because they're inherently bad, but because they're inherently bad at securing their products, right?
Yes.
You want somebody who knows how to break into your stuff and fix, and then tells you how to fix it.
See, I have a dumb TV, and I just want to know what other companies have virus protection that you can scan. Like, is
None.
it something running in the background? It's just none at all.
No, like I mean, I've got a cheap Vizio TV,
Yeah.
in my office.
Well, they're
and it
kind
doesn't care.
of Vizio's kind of known for having leaky.
That's true. That is true. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that when they were just like spewing out all the like this stuff
For
that
sale,
people-
they were
yeah.
selling it.
Yeah, yeah.
They were selling your information. So I'm talking like, I don't know, LG or well, I don't even know. Is it horrible that anymore it's just like Samsung and LG? What happened to like Panasonic and
Well, there's a bunch of
guess,
like
yeah.
no-namers out there too, right?
Yeah.
Like, but whatever. So yeah, so Samsung TV, scan your TV.
yes,
It might just save you from the bad guys. I don't
kind of
know.
weird, but scan your
Watch-
TV for viruses.
As long, there's no cameras on the TV, so what? I mean, they're gonna watch what you want.
or is there?
Ooh.
No, it's just going to be information.
Yeah, that information that they're gonna sell.
Only
They're like,
information.
we know what you're doing.
This is stuff companies want and pay a lot of money for.
Yeah,
so.
that's true. Moving on, it is officially official. Facebook has its own cryptocurrency. We have entered the golden era of cryptocurrency, John.
Have we? I thought
No,
the golden
no, no,
era
no.
was like 5 or 6 years
No,
ago.
no. I'm completely facetious here. So, Facebook, and I'm going to read a lot of this because there's a lot in there. I'll try to be not so into the weeds with it. So, they have their new cryptocurrency that they announced is called Calibra, Calibra. The coin, the cryptocurrency itself, is called the Libra, which I already thought there was a Libra coin, like in real fiat currency, but whatever. The cryptocurrency will be governed by the Libra Association, which currently has 28 members, and it is based in Geneva, Switzerland, which of course is where all your money goes to be hidden.
Lots of gold there.
Yeah. so I mean, if I was going to create a shadow currency that was going to potentially be used everywhere in the world,
Yeah.
I'd probably put it in Switzerland.
Kind of say Libra sounds like James Bond villain corporation. I could see like a logo on like a white jumpsuit of people running around a volcano. Like
I thought they have to have little tattoos you
it's
can
the
only see after
Libra-
you shoot them, right?
The Libra corporation.
Yeah, like Utopia says, like Libra versus the E-coin, right, from Mr.
Yeah.
Robot. God, Mr. Robot, why can't you give me the final season? So let's talk about the current members of the Libra Association, because it's actually kind of surprising. MasterCard, Visa, PayPal. Then we get into the eBay, Spotify, Uber, Lyft, the Vodafone Group, and then there's like a ton more people who are not like big name companies that people know, but individuals and whatnot, which tells me that obviously this is a serious deal.
Well,
This
people
is a
don't want to
serious-
miss out on the next big thing. And all these companies did not know how to jump on Bitcoin. And when you have a
Sure.
company like Facebook, like, hey, this is what we want to do, I'm
Yes.
sure it'd be easy to get investors in that. But
Right.
I mean, look how much money people made from like stock in Facebook or the Facebook artists. Like,
Sure.
if they could jump on the next big thing. But
Speaking of that, so the association was formed to manage and evolve the Libra currency, and they're aiming to make this a global currency. Like they are trying to create this ubiquitous. We can't keep throwing the word currency out there. A way to pay for things without having to convert to other currencies
Right.
in other countries, pay fees and all that kind of junk. The blockchain is known as the Libra blockchain. Blockchain, for you who don't know what it is, blockchain is what they also call like a ledger, that's a public ledger where everybody can see every transaction that happens. You don't see their names, right? You don't see that John sent me $1,000 for X, Y, and Z, but you see that this number, which would be John's like super secret number, bank account number, if you will, sent my bank account number $1,000, whatever, right? So all that stuff is publicly visible in the blockchain. It's actually it's got a backing of a currency, which I think was they didn't say what it was, maybe the U.S. dollar, but it's got a reserve. So if John, I'm gonna use you as my third party here, John buys 10 Libra, whatever, with $5 US or whatever, I don't know how much that ends up being converted. That money, there's actual real money to convert that back somewhere in a reserve.
interesting.
Which is interesting. So it's tied to a currency. But it's not limited to Facebook. And when it's up and running, they want to empower the billions of people in the world to have financial independence. Which, maybe.
We'll see.
When I get through all this, I'll give you my opinion. So Facebook had a key role in developing the blockchain component and starting the Libra organization, but final decision making happens in the association itself.
And they all give themselves.
And everybody is equal share. So if Facebook says no, I vote that down. Doesn't matter if Visa, MasterCard like yes, we vote that up. Then Facebook loses, right? So everybody's got an even share, which is interesting because I thought they'd have a controlling stake.
Yeah, but they had to get people invested in it.
Sure, and that Facebook will own or maintain ownership of the Calibra, which is their initial organization, and it'll be a subsidiary. Can you mine it? I don't think so. That's the thing is we don't know anything about that yet. There are wallets that are going to come out. So a wallet is something that holds your coins, right, in real life and in cryptocurrency, and they're making a wallet for the Facebook Messenger, the WhatsApp application, and a standalone wallet in 2020. So, and John, do you think Bitcoin is dead?
No.
Long live Bitcoin! No, I don't know. I guess the bigger question I've got for you is: would you take your real money, turn it into fake Facebook money? Can we call it the Facebook money?
Facebook monies?
And then would you use that Facebook money to buy something from somebody?
If I had a reason to.
Maybe we should you're open to it. You're open to
We
that.
should get a Two Guys Tech Facebook
Libra.
buy T-shirts with Libra. Just as an
I,
experiment.
I'm going to bet you
but
5 Libra that's what ends up happening. Like there'll be lots of tie-ins. Yeah, I can see it right now. Like our Facebook page will have like a thing where you can donate to them or you can buy swag and here it is. Press this button and you can pay in Libra or you can pay in dollars, right?
Could you pay in rubles?
No.
No?
In Russia, you can pay in rubles and Libra, I'm guessing. But, I wonder how they're going to handle countries like emerging economies like India. India, all cryptocurrency is illegal. The government said no.
And WhatsApp's like the biggest.
Right. So, I mean, does that mean they're going to get around it? Because if they get around it, then I guess great. But anyway, so look for that. When you see Libra coin or Libra or Calibra, Calibra, or anything like that on Facebook, you know that they're going to just want your money.
A lot of
Converted.
unknowns. We will see how this goes.
Yeah. Yeah, the Ripple killer. No, I don't know because Ripple if anything, I think, because I'm really pro this. Believe it or not, I'm actually positive this because a long time ago I bought some artwork from a guy in Russia who made this really awesome artwork, right?
I remember.
And it was super painful to try to send this dude on the other side of the world money because I had to use Western Union. There was a bunch of fees and that junk. What if I could just turn my money into something that could be sent to him, and then he can either turn that money into his local currency, whatever that is, or spend it on stuff there, right?
Yeah.
I like this idea. The promise of having a universal artwork.
And that's what I was laughing at.
Thanks, man. No, it was real artwork, and it was really cool artwork, by the way. Seriously. Seriously cool stuff. So I think that this is great. I think it's fantastic, and I'm all for it. I feel weird on the flip side because Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, altcoins, all these things, the idea was to break free from corporations and governments and have like just a neutral thing to have control of money.
See,
right?
what made that popular was anyone can invest in it by mining. And now companies can jump on the bandwagon because they created it.
Right.
So we'll see.
I feel two halves of it, but there was a lot of articles I read a long time ago that people believed that Bitcoin itself was not the end solution. Bitcoin itself was basically, that was the first thing that became popular, and that the big thing would come, and there will be a big thing, I'm sure. So did Mike say? Mike said, "What's the physical asset it backs up?" I don't know. I really don't know. It just says that they hold, reserves for the asset. So I'm guessing that probably means dollars. I don't know. Swiss francs. I don't know. If it's in Switzerland, maybe it's a Swiss franc.
You go back to a Bonneville and they have gold.
It's
bunch
just
of gold
chunks
bricks.
of gold, and they have people just moving gold from one stack to another, just like
one
this.
big-
That's all. As the giant laser that comes out of the volcano, it like gets pointed towards.
It's like I like the idea of an Austin Powers villain. I don't know.
Yeah, it is. Freaking laser beams. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. There's a lot to be answered here for sure. And Facebook says 2020 is when you're going to start to be using this stuff or be able to use it. And I recommend you pay attention to it because it could be nothing or it could be world changing. Speaking of world changing, John, tell us about iOS 13.
I got the little tidbits today. I got nothing heavy here. All right, so iOS 13 just has a cool little feature. This is a super short conversation here.
I don't know. I think this is a
great.
big deal.
So a lot of apps will have a subscription service, and people will delete that app, and for some reason they just notice that every month they're charged X amount of dollars.
Right.
Let's just say $4.
How about $6 or
right.
$10?
I feel like someone has had this happen to them before. So iOS 13 in the beta right now, we'll see if it actually gets pushed through, is if you delete an app and it has an active subscription, it will tell you this app will automatically subscribe on this date. Do you want to cancel that?
That's so nice.
You can keep it or you can delete it, but if you delete an app, you kind of lose track of it. And
yeah, you forget about it. Exactly.
to be honest, I did do this with Xbox Live because I haven't really used my Xbox a lot recently. Kind of became a PC user the last couple of years. And
PC Master Race.
it renews in January. Then a couple days later, I'm like, I forgot to cancel it. After it already did it. And of course, that money, those companies have your money. They're not giving it back.
No, they're not going to give it back because you made a mistake.
I mean, $6 a little different from being charged from a yearly subscription. But
right.
Anyhow, I think this is great. I think people do forget about this, and the fact it will let you delete it immediately with the app. I think it's going to be a great feature. So.
I don't know. You tell me. Android users, is this something that actually exists already for Google? Because if it does, then that actually, I will say, is one up for you. I'm going to admit this one time. One up for you. Security? No, not really. A bunch of crap in the Google Play Store? Yeah, that's way worse. But if you can tell me that for sure that Google already has this feature built into Android, seriously. I mean, I'll actually say kudos to Google for
hats off to you.
Hats off. So let me tell you my story, because I am all about talking tonight. I have kids, right? And they are using iPads, right? And it used to be you would get a game, and there were more paid games than free games, right? And they'd want you to buy 99 cents. You get the game. The game's the game, right? And it's like, oh, nobody's buying my games. I'm going to make them free and make them ad-based, right? Where the ads are like, oh, show a picture, play a video, typically. And so no kidding, I'd watch my kid play a game where you die frequently. Like maybe one of those running games where you run, you have to jump over stuff, and when you die,
Right.
you die a lot, right? And there'll be like 2 videos that play before you get a chance to play again.
Mm-hmm.
Mandatory. Even if you shut off the network connection, it just shows you pictures or cached videos.
It's part of the game.
It's evil. It's evil because little kids are like, I don't really care, whatever. And the games, whatever. So for whatever reason, the ads are typically not focused at children. Like they're not inappropriate at all, but they're just not focused at that audience. But it bugged the heck out of me. And so now, you can expect that all the time. That's already there. And the new thing is like, oh, this game is free. Here's some content. Give us $6 a month or $10. I saw one that was like $30 a month, and we'll give you new content, like constant content, right?
Okay.
And they pop up and they look like the one-time purchase things, and little kids like my kids are like, oh yeah, sure, whatever, buy. And then I'm like, no, sweetie, you can't. And the games are like cartoon eyes, like kittens and stuff that just, oh god, it's like it's crack for children. It's children crack. So I got so angry, I like actually tweeted at Apple. I'm like, hey, Apple, this sucks. Stop it now. So I like this idea because I did like give in, and there's a few subscription services, and I have to set calendar reminders. I literally have to set a calendar reminder on my non-Apple device.
This is like the definition of first world problems right here.
Right. I have to set a calendar in my digital calendar. Remind me to cancel my digital subscription. I think this is great. I think we need more of these sort of things. And I talked too long.
That's quite all right.
Let's talk about this instead. Beep beep goes the beach buggy racer too. So John.
Yes.
Tesla.
Does some weird
Tesla does some weird stuff. And this was kind of announced at E3, but now we have it for real in real life.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of fixing problems with autopilot, instead of tackling the complicated things, they're picking the low-hanging fruit, right? And so I want to show you this because I believe I have it here. So what they've done now is...
So stupid.
This is great. It's probably playing audio at full blast too, since I didn't shut the audio down. But, so basically, they're downloading automatically over the air a game you can play in your Tesla where put the car in park, you use the steering wheel to drive and the car's brake to actually brake in the game. You don't, however, use the gas pedal. Don't ask me why.
I think it's pretty obvious why you want to.
And the wheels are turning.
That's got to be a joke.
It's not a joke. That is real, dude. That is real life.
The wheels turning.
Because the wheels are tied to the steering wheel's tied to.
No, they're not. It's all by computer.
Oh well, in that
Just
case, I don't know.
You're telling me a Tesla doesn't have drive-by-wire?
Maybe they do. Maybe they don't.
It's like Elon Musk just like challenges the shareholders of like, hey, look what I did now.
He's more like, what can I get away with before they actually like revolt and ask for my resignation?
How long before someone plays this while it's driving an autopilot?
You cannot play it.
There's going to be some bug where someone gets in the car right because they're trying to play. It wasn't
the Stig. It was some random.
Buggy, whatever.
Yeah, okay. I think it's kind of neat because it's just like, what car has video games in it?
I love the idea of you sitting in a parking lot or like just
I don't know. Drop the wife or the kids off at the mall, let them go inside, and you can just sit there and play a video game on your console.
Yeah, it's gonna be all over YouTube of people like
beep
beep. Look at this guy driving his car
in the parking lot like a goofball. But they've been dumping a lot into infotainment. There is now Netflix available for you to watch in the car. Okay. There's YouTube. Hello, Tesla watchers, if you're watching this on your Tesla. What else did I add in here? I had a few other things. Oh, they're bringing Bethesda's Fallout Shelter to it, which the game has got about 10 minutes of replayability, and then you get frustrated and quit. No, from personal experience. Totally from personal experience. And they're bringing other streaming services to it. So, hey, why not? Why not play video games in your car? I mean, all the Teslas have these gigantic screens inside.
Yeah.
Why not?
And a lot of computing power. So.
Right. Yeah, because they're all backed up by NVIDIA graphics cards, and all the compute stuff is done by NVIDIA. So why not put that to some real use? Right?
It just makes me laugh all with the problems that are going on right now. At least the stuff in the news. But
oh yeah.
I know it's a completely separate division, and they're probably like, you guys have got the Infomat like ironed out.
Sure.
Like, we need to keep you guys hired.
Can you imagine playing Cuphead on that? I mean, I don't know how you'd use the steering wheel. If all you have is a steering wheel and the buttons on the steering wheel.
Wait till there's like an accessory where you can pull a steering wheel out of the glove box. And you can play 2-player Cuphead with a steering wheel.
That would be awesome. That would be legit. Come on, think about it. or Elon, I know you're paying attention. What you got to do is convert the buttons on the steering wheel to not look like a car, but to look like a bunch of D-pads and gaming buttons, right? So you just hold the steering wheel and you've got the D-pad on the left and the buttons on the right. You can make that look like a car, right? Think about it. You can just like sit there and. But the one thing I don't think is that the screen needs to be in the center.
That is, it's like
you're like leaning over the side. You're like,
you're
like looking over here and your neck hurts, but whatever. I don't. I think that's awesome. I'm gonna say I think it's awesome. I know it's a gimmick because again, it's like Tesla fix the autopilot problems, or Tesla, I don't know, make your cars more affordable so everyone can have one, or Tesla put a bunch of video games in there because that costs you nothing. As a side note, because I didn't mention it, it's a game that you can actually it's a mobile game that you can actually download. That's made by a company called Vector Unit. So if you wanted to play it on your own, I don't know, maybe that's something you want to do. It looks like a Mario Kart.
It does.
Mario Kart,
yeah, exactly.
Or
the cars
Crash
like
Bandicoot or racing game. But I don't know. I digress. John, please talk about the catastrophe. While you talk about it, can I put it on the screen?
Yeah, so we're just full of stupid news today.
I love being down here in the corner.
All right,
I love this. Look at this. We're like, look up, like, hold on. Where's that?
I know. Right before the show, we're like, we should have worked harder at doing cat ears for ourselves, but
yes.
Oh well, too late now.
Yeah, we need a Facebook filter just for that, right?
Yeah.
So what is going on here? Because it's big news, right?
This is so stupid.
Big news in the world of technology.
There's no information from the news at all about, first of all, what these guys are actually talking about, what the news was, because they kept saying this was a really important live stream, and he streamed it on Facebook to try to get more people.
Who is this?
Okay, so
what is this?
This is the regional Pakistani minister, and you're going to have to say his name because I can't even speak English.
Okay.
This is how I think it is. Ready?
Yeah.
Shukat Yafzah.
Right.
No,
that's
not. No.
His name is Shaukat Yousafzai. That's what I think.
Shaukat
Yousafzai, yeah.
Okay.
Yes. I'm reading it. That would be my English butchering of it.
Dude, I can't even speak English.
Okay, so speak.
All right,
continue.
So during a press briefing that was streamed on Facebook Live, obviously, an AR cat filter was left on. 2 other officials are spotted with cat ears and whiskers.
Am I looking up at him?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, continue.
God, it's so stupid.
Okay.
So the party said the goof was caused by human error, obviously.
So they were streaming this on Facebook.
Yes.
And somebody turned on a filter.
So it was a volunteer.
Okay.
They said it was a mistake, and the gentleman we were looking at said that it was a mistake. Let's not take everything so seriously. So
I think he's right.
Pretty good response on his part.
Right. I mean, the guy who helped out is dead. That guy didn't make it after that.
Oh my God.
I mean, I'm just saying. I'm not saying he's dead, but I mean,
So,
he'll never work in politics again.
No one took this seriously, though. Like, no one. Like, I'm actually trying to find information out about it. Like, well, what were they talking about? If this was something serious and there's cat ears on, obviously it kind of anything you said is
not
undermined.
just cat ears, but a cat nose and whiskers too. Don't forget those are key components of this. Is the whole thing. Continue. Sorry.
It's okay. So getting on to how serious the BBC, NPR,
yes,
CNN,
okay,
New York Times, the following is all in their articles. Okay, the first is
hit me. I love myself some puns.
This was a catastrophe.
I give that. Everybody in the audience, if you're watching this, is catastrophe on a scale of 1 to 10. What do you think is? I think that's a 5. That's an easy one, right?
I think they're all 0 because this is so.
Well, you hate puns. I love puns, but I give that pun a 5 out of 10.
All right. The next is you've got to be kitten me. Okay. Next one.
7.
Oh my God!
It's
you're
a little bit creative.
This, Rich.
I'm the only person who thinks this is great. Continue. Go on.
All right. Unfortunately, the cat was already out of the bag.
Now that one is
before they noticed, so it is kind of relevant, right?
Sure, I don't agree with that one. I think that is more like a 3.
All right.
You got anything better for me? Because I need some.
I have a lot more because American news is really professional.
This is all we care about, right?
All right. What a bad press conference.
Yeah, I like 8. I'm gonna call that an 8. 8 out of 10 on the pun meter.
Okay, all right.
I should have put a pun meter over in the screen.
So there's one article. The thing is, I could go to any site and there's a pun. So I'm reading this one. I was like, wow, there's no cat pun, but they snuck this in, and this is probably the one where the editor's like, okay,
gotta do it.
I'll give you that one. And this is, it didn't take long for commenters to pounce on the error. And even then, it's kind of
just slipped it in there.
Pounce.
But
I mean, it's close.
Look, in my philosophy, if you're gonna pun, You
You gotta
pun
go full
hard.
out. Yeah.
You pun hard, people.
No,
You
I'm
don't
saying-
pun lightly. You go in with all of your pun force and you pun as hard as you can. So I give that a 1 just because they tried to be.
They
you know.
snuck it in there.
Yes.
Okay, next one. Yes, this is for real. For real.
All right.
'Kay.
Six.
All right.
I haven't heard a real good one yet, by the way.
Okay. Unfortunately, he wasn't the only unfortunate victim because the people surrounding him also had the ears pop up. here
Oh,
and there.
yes. Yeah, there's a lot of bouncing around because the
'Kay.
filter's not sees faces.
The party quickly realized its mistake and finally put the shenanigans on pause.
Smart.
But the news organization said the word shenanigans.
Yeah. What's that favorite restaurant you like going to? Shenanigans.
If one more person says shenanigans, I'm gonna pistol whip him. Hey Farva, what's that favorite restaurant you wanted to go to?
Shenanigans?
All right, I got more. This is the
hit
worst
me.
part.
All
This
right.
is the worst
See,
part.
Jamie threw out perfect. I'm sure that's in there too.
Perfect. I think there is actually. Here's
Yeah.
a tale of ferocious goof. Yeah, no, that one's
I feel like these are really not that good. They're low hanging fruit.
yeah. So this is the last one I'll say.
I prefer more. Whatever.
Yeah,
Sorry, continue on. I apologize.
All right, so this next one was calling it just a puss conference.
That one's just lazy.
That was the Russian television network.
The
so,
RT.
yeah. Yeah.
So when you showed me this photo and we talked about this in the pre-show, I thought to myself, you know what we need? Every politician everywhere to have a Facebook filter on. They can choose their filter. But they have to have a filter on, and it has to be lighthearted. So you can't have, like, I don't know, like fire and brimstone behind you or something like that. I mean, do you not think that everything in the world would be a much better place if people were, like, not screaming at each other with cat ears on their heads? Or like the big, like, sunglasses, like the Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas sunglasses that you see, like the big aviators.
Maybe we need to figure out how to do filters on the channel. We'll give it a test drive.
We should find a way to put a filter on and then put that on the screen. We could do it. We could totally do it. It's the power of technology. So I don't know. What do you guys think? You think we should, have Donald Trump up there with some cat ears on? I think I'd be able to.
I'm sure
handle that a
someone's
little
done
better.
worse already.
Right. That is perfect, John. Absolutely perfect.
Please
All right.
go to the next topic.
All right. So, speaking of Android, for our Android lovers out there, Google has killed the Pixel tablet product line. Google has decided that nobody likes their Pixel tablets, or their slates, as they call them. The last one, I guess Mark has destroyed in an interview or a review that Google was not too happy about that. Shocked. Yeah, shocking for sure. So yeah, they're redoubling their efforts on their Chromebook OS for laptops, which is fine. And the Chrome OS never really took well to the tablet. And I think that the idea of this like all-encompassing application or operating system just didn't work for them. So they killed 2 unnamed ones that were supposed to come out in either late 2019 or 2020, and so they moved people around the company. It's not like anyone got fired. It's not like one of those. It's not like one of those where we talk about like, oh, they Apple decided to close down their automotive division, and there's 1,000 people out of
I feel
business.
like Apple starting a car company is like, what are the worst employees we have that we can't fire, but your division doesn't exist anymore.
So that's interesting. I thought that was worth talking about because they're actually leads me to a question, and that is, did Apple win? Years into the future now, with hindsight behind us, did Apple win the tablet wars? I know Samsung's still making Android tablets. I know there's a bunch of Chinese manufacturers making super cheap Android tablets. They're dime a dozen, but really, Google was like the only like bespoke, high quality material built one. And do you think that
the only other tablet I've ever seen in person, I mean, even out in public with random people, is the Amazon tablets? I mean,
sure, but those are dirt cheap, right? And they're mostly, and forgive me here, but I consider the Amazon tablets primarily as a mean to consume Amazon goods. Or order Amazon goods, right? Yeah. It's like, here, this is a discounted tablet. You can watch Amazon Prime on it. Don't you dare try to watch Google.
Honestly, I think Samsung's got the next step going, but they definitely released it a little too early, and that was with the folding phone. And I think that's going to replace tablets because you have
I think you're right. I think
it's obviously not ready for prime time, but they've invested more money. And
ask Samsung about that.
exploding phones and now foldable phones. So, and any phone is foldable. Ask Apple. So
Yeah, see, Mike thinks Kindles are garbage. M. Williams thinks that the hardware is terrible. I mean, we'll see. But I think you're right. I think the true end of the tablet will
going to be a phone
that folds out into, like, I don't know, a tent.
And we're a ways away, I think, for it to be reliable and last a long time and actually not have a crease in the middle of the screen. And
right. I'm okay with the crease. Was it that bad of a crease? I mean, seriously.
We'll wait till you get like the triple fold phone and better batteries.
Boop, boop, boop. Yeah, that phone will last forever. Just put those big Energizer battery phones on.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it weighs 13 pounds, but hey, it folds into a trifold. So yeah, so that was interesting news. I thought I'd share that with the peoples. Let's talk about the Cyberpunks. Again, as I say every single time we talk about video games, if John recommends the game, it's going to be terrible. So John's not going to recommend you this game because he wants it to be successful.
No, I hate Cyberpunk.
So Jamie says her grandkids love the Kindle.
Well, there you go.
So there's that.
Then it's cheap enough. Who cares if they break it, right? So
sure, that's a good point.
Well, you don't care, but it's not as big of an investment.
Well, when they're only like $70, something like that, But I don't know. Then there's the ads and stuff on them. Continue, John. Go ahead, please.
All right. So Cyberpunk at E3. This is a game that has been cycling around for a while of everyone getting super excited about.
Especially this guy. This guy right here. He can't wait.
Excited.
He can't wait to go all William Gibson all over the dystopian technology future of, what is it, Tokyo?
Anywho.
I don't know.
So they were talking about this at E3. They had a non-playable demo that they only showed to a small amount of reporters. Mm-hmm. So at PAX West, which Rich and I are actually going to later this summer.
PAX West, if you're going, let us know. Maybe we can meet up. I'd love to meet some of these people that talk to us all the time.
So they are going to have a show to actually show the consumer this live demo, which was approximately around 50 minutes long. So a long...
50?
Yes.
Wow.
So when I say live demo, this is going to be non-playable. This is something that... the representation from the company is going to be playing on a giant screen to show you what the game is all about. So some things we heard about at E3 that make this game sound really exciting. Let's go over this here. So the demo is mostly gameplay focused.
Okay.
And it includes the same mission through two different perspectives, male and a female protagonist. And it showed like two kind of different play styles. So stealth, like an example that people gave was you could like hack a door to like sneak into the room to get to your objective.
Boop, 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 boop.
Yeah. And then the next player, I'm sure there'll be mini puzzles.
Will when they press when they press the buttons, will it play the theme to Funky Town?
No. So then like the next character they're showing, like instead of hacking the door, they just rip it off by the hinges and going, guns blazing.
Yeah.
So cool different styles. I mean, it's kind of been done, but it sounds like this is going to be more drastic. And of course, it's E3, so it's nothing but hype and no substance. Sure. Unless you hire Keanu Reeves to come in. Keanu! People also mentioned that Keanu Reeves' character is going to be a lot like Cortana. You're going to kind of hear him in your head, like the headset.
He's like, whoa!
He's like a hologram at times.
Dude!
Let's get some Bill and Ted references.
Still play it with
Here's the cool thing that I wrote down was, in the world there's going to be different languages spoken.
Right.
And you're going to have to, like, through objectives and trying to get your hands on this translation chip, you won't be able to understand certain areas of the world until you unlock their language. And like,
interesting.
The language,
that sounds frustrating.
It'll be subtitles, and then you can see the subtitles translating like into English if you can understand them. I don't know. I thought that was kind of cool.
Will they have like hieroglyphs or something that like Matt's is like No Man's Sky. So for sure, to be honest, I never played.
I didn't either. But, a lot of hype for that one, and it was a great game.
Yeah, how did that one turn out? I mean, they fixed it. They fixed it like a year after it came out. Yeah, I think they did. But at that point, it's
that game probably had more hype than anything ever.
I don't know. So. This Cyberpunk's got some serious hype.
I don't know, man.
Serious hype, right? Everybody wants a really good, solid dystopian.
It's been a while since I had a good science fiction game.
Right.
It's been a while.
So, and I was talking to some coworkers about it, and they were saying that this game is actually based on a board game. Mm-hmm. That's where it comes from, as board game, which
No, I didn't know that either until you mentioned it.
I didn't know, and to be honest, I'm not really excited about playing it. I might be the one guy in the entire world.
See, I don't care about
I'm not
where
unexcited,
it came from.
but it doesn't speak to me. Like it just doesn't.
See, I love science fiction. That's
Okay, there we go. So, pen and paper RPG. So there we go. So somebody actually knows.
Good.
You like the idea of Keanu whispering in your ear? I bet you do.
You're
As long as he's like, "Whoa, dude, watch out for that." I don't know.
Be like a mod for it.
I mean, I really do like Keanu Reeves. I think he's a special man. But I don't know if I want him to whisper in my ear.
Yeah, maybe he'll be a PAX.
Like,
That'd be awesome.
I know. Yeah, he might be. Cause
What I'm not excited for is like, if I want to go to this and I do, it's gonna be like you need to show up like 4 hours early, probably.
yeah, good luck with one of your days of PAX being spent waiting in line.
No, seriously, I would try to go see the Far Cry 5 presentation 2 PAXs ago,
Yeah.
and I went what hour and a half, 2 hours early.
Yeah.
And it was already full when I got there.
So.
And that was a game that it had a little bit of hype, but not like this. So, yeah.
Yeah, I hope you go because then we can have a conversation live about it. You can tell everybody about it, and you're like,
And I'll be like, I completely reread Game of Thrones while I was waiting in line.
I read all of the books.
I just stole my mattress
Red
in the
Wedding.
hotel room
Perfect.
and camped out in front of the.
Yeah, I don't know. I probably. I mean, that's the thing is PAX is other than all the wonder that PAX is, it's also the biggest game you play at PAX is the waiting in line game.
Oh yeah. You
And
gotta
something
pick
like
and
that.
choose.
This is a big deal. So I bet you're right. Unless they put it on one of the big screens, they could put it on one of the big screens, and then we could.
It makes you wonder like what they're gonna like reserve. Because remember when Destiny was there?
Yeah.
And they rented their own theater.
Yeah, what was that? The whatever that theater was downtown. Yeah, that was awesome.
They did a great job at presentation.
Yeah, so they did.
We'll see.
The little PC case that they made didn't work so great though.
No.
So okay, yeah. So I don't know. I think that I owe myself to learn more about the backstory and where the actual video game.
See, that I
comes
don't
from.
care about. I
Really?
love
Because
no,
I mean,
seriously,
that might
I love,
actually get me interested in the game. Is the fact
once
that
you
it's
know about it, but I don't care about the pen and paper
Paramount
game.
Theater.
I'm
That's
sorry.
what it was. It was Paramount Theater downtown Seattle. That's what.
I love the background. If there's a good story, good game mechanics, like.
But
I'm
we know,
sold.
honestly, so far from the video content, and from two people who obviously don't know the history of where the Cyberpunk universe comes from, we know nothing about the game other than what the trailer is, right?
Well, that's the point of E3. It's all hype.
Right, and
all hype.
I mean, it's kind of like this, like, cross between, like, what the 80s thought, like, Cyberpunk future was going to be.
Yep.
Like, they're going to be driving around freaking DeLoreans and stuff, and they're going to roll in, they're going to have, like computer chip things in the side, like, the augmentations.
The whole game reminds me of Blade Runner, and
Yeah, but Blade Runner didn't have, like, I mean, they had the cybernetic, their replicants, as they call them, right? But
Yeah.
you didn't know that they're replicants. In this game, all the pictures, the video I saw, there's like, you can tell this guy's got like a telescoping eyeball who can see, I don't know. I am not super excited yet.
I'm trying not to be. So we'll see.
But, again, if John says it's good,
I haven't said it's good. 'Cause I haven't
no,
played
if you
it, but-
say it's good, then you can pass it. I digress. Oh, so let's talk about something not related to computer games to close out the show. So this is like I'm a big fan of hardware, right? I love hardware.
Yeah.
Signify is a company that actually used to be called Philips Lighting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's Philips Lighting, the guys who make Hue, right? Smart home stuff that we're all known for. They are releasing a product that they call what do they call it? They call it True Li-Fi, based on Li-Fi, which is I know it's basically using light bulbs to transmit data.
Oh, okay.
So instead of Wi-Fi, which we all know is like RF, radio frequency, right? That you have have access point, it's transmitting. You have a radio in your laptop, it picks it up, you talk back and forth. Li-Fi would be a feature where you have these either retrofit or purpose-built bulbs that you could plug in, and they would transmit in a very direct fashion to a computer to give you up to 150 megabit a second. So we could sit in the studio and you have to have a dongle, like a USB dongle, right? But you got to get the USB receiver. But then again, early era Wi-Fi, you had to have receivers too. I remember my first gosh, it makes me feel old. My first 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi thing was like a PCMCIA card, like a big long card that you inserted into a laptop.
Yeah, I remember for the iMac. Like
Right.
it was an add-on
Right.
feature, and this is giant.
And then
card.
later on, you got to smaller radios that were USB
Yeah.
plugged in, but they were still big, like things that
metal
hung out there.
boxes.
Yeah. So they are claiming. Yeah, actually, if you think about it, they're claiming that it's up to 150 megabit a second. Obviously, and Williams has got a lot to say about this. But you have reflection or light bouncing around, so I'm not sure exactly how it works, but it's supposed to work. They think it's more secure than Wi-Fi because your light deteriorates further you get, where Wi-Fi signals, if you're unimpeded, can go very far.
Well, it's
right?
because you're directly pointing it at the device. You're
Sure.
not just spreading it all over the neighborhood.
The other thing is it works in locations like imagine being in a train or something like that where you like going underground or something like that. You can have the transceivers just in the train. People could have it. They could use it, right? There's a few companies that are deploying this in certain parts of Europe. Already, yeah.
Huh.
And maybe it's because they got paid by Signify to do it. It's my guess.
Probably.
But, I got to say it's an interesting thing. You can do a point-to-point connection between two devices for up to 250 megabit connectivity, so laptop to laptop. It sounds a little bit like the old-school infrared transceivers that you could have. I used to have a laptop when I was younger that had a IR send and receive.
A lot of them did.
Yeah, and you could, and even like Palm Pilot stuff, they had that, and you could print. You could set it next to a printer that had an IR receiver, and you could just, spew your print stuff to it. So this is kind of a spiritual, like, rebirth of using light to do it. Called Li-Fi.
I don't know, I'm not, man,
Or
I'm just
true
like
Li-Fi.
the show skeptic today.
Every show needs one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Emma Williams is right. Yeah, I mean, this is in situations where if you had a tunnel system where you couldn't like transmit because there's thick barriers between rooms or whatever, then this would be a useful thing to have. Every room you could have one light that had it. Walking the room, but it wouldn't. In that case, I think when you left the room and reassociate, I bet you it would drop. Anyway, internet from your lights. Don't you get it? It's the future. We don't use light for sending technology or data right now, right? Fiber optics, they don't exist.
That would be, I got nothing to say.
You got nothing to say.
I was going to say something stupid, but...
So yeah, I thought it was interesting at least. John, you know what? I think that is, what time is it? Yeah, we've been talking for a while. I think it's time to close the show.
Sounds good to me.
All right, so... and actually, you're closing the show, Dick, because I opened the show. So let's talk about it.
All right, we got the huge. We got some swag.
Hold on, can we just to make life easier? I can't do it. I'm sorry. I was gonna do this and then show the swag, but we can't because whatever. So my bad. Go ahead, talk about the swag.
All right, so we are mainly a YouTube channel.
We are only a YouTube because now this is only on YouTube, right?
So we are on YouTube's. You may have noticed because you're on the YouTubes.
Yeah.
So this live show is just kind of an extra for us, kind of hang out, have some fun, talk about technology.
Talk to you guys.
We work really hard on our videos that you should check out. To support the channel,
Please.
we have some swag, and you can follow the link right here.
That swag. There's the link right there.
All right, thank you, sir.
If you like it, we like it. All of the proceeds go to making more videos.
Yeah, buying stuff to blow up and test. That's
which we've done quite a bit of lately, haven't we?
Lately, yeah.
Right.
Reviews, projects, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I am John. This is Rich. Thanks for watching.
See you guys.
Have a good day.
See you next week.